Hi everyone!
Welcome.
This is our first episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Do you think we should get started on our comments?
Yes, we should.
Okay. Well, let's start with Mark and Willow. They did a cha-cha last night. What did you think of it?
I thought it was a really good choice for their first dance.
Well, I think Mark did a great job with the 14-year-old.
And I think that Willow carried herself beautifully on the floor.
She really did. Okay, let's move on to, first I want to say welcome back, Kim. Nice to have you back in the show. She's the pro. And she has Robert from Shark Tank.
They did the cha-cha last night.
They did. But I was a little confused because they were so excited about him, and all I felt was it was just perky. I was trying to figure out where the cha-cha was. I'm sure it was. So I'm not a ballroom expert, but I was just trying to see some fluidity in the cha-cha a little bit in the way they choreographed it, and I'm sure Kim did a great job, but I just thought it was so much energy that I missed the dance.
Well, and I missed the dance because I thought it was all posing. Where I see the girls do the foxtrot, he's holding her hand,
Well, he was
going
doing
down
the
on
cha-cha,
his
but
knees.
yes.
Okay, good point. But nonetheless, the men seem to pose. They don't dance the step nearly like the girls have to.
Okay, let's move on to Riker and Allison, which is over here, I believe.
Allison chose a great song to showcase Riker because the music was in what he does naturally.
And I think they did the jive, right?
They did. High energy.
It was a good choice of music for him. That was his genre, and he could really get into it the way he would do it naturally up on stage, but I'm not sure I don't know. I'm interested to see what he'd do with another dance, so I'm looking forward to that.
He was one of the higher point scorers of the night.
Yeah, I think he scored like, what, 31?
Something like that. So after them came Charlotte and Keo. And my first complaint is that I wish they'd given Charlotte more time with the dancing and less time on reminding us who she might be. Because I felt it really took away from her ability to focus on the dance.
You mean when they brought all the melons out?
Exactly.
And tied her up?
They redid the whole Carl's Jr. and then we had to watch the taping of the boobs. I would have just liked to see her trying to learn to dance. So I'm looking forward to her growth. Because
Yeah,
I
she
think
did a jive, right? She did a jive.
She did a jive.
She was pretty stiff, and I agree. I think it's because they focus so much on the other part of her. They need to focus on her, you know, her technique in a dance.
Right. So she may be one of the biggest growers of the season now that we've gotten over who she is.
Okay, so hopefully they won't focus on that anymore, and we can move on to somebody who's absolutely beautiful. I teach a lot of people who are over 50, 60, 70. I even have some 80-year-olds. And when Patti LaBelle came on, and she's in her 70s, early 70s, I thought she looked beautiful. I love her comment that she was dizzy at the beginning when she was working with Artem, and Artem did such a great job with her. He understood that she doesn't go around turning all the time, and when somebody's older, when you're in the youth of your senior years, it's really, you know, you forget that you've lost balance, and you forget that you don't turn all the time. So when you do turn, all of a sudden you go, whoa, I'm dizzy. So I'm glad they pointed that out because she'll lose that. The more she turns, the better she'll get. Her balance will improve. I'm so hoping she stays so we can watch her grow.
I thought she was elegant last night.
She was.
I thought it just showcased her so
and she did a
nicely.
foxtrot.
She did a beautiful job.
She really did. I was really proud of Artem for being so gentle with her.
And I have to say that I enjoyed the audience's appreciation of Patti LaBelle in her career.
I agree.
And that was lovely to see too.
It was. Okay, let's move on to Chris and Whitney. I think he's our bachelor.
Well, I don't think he's a bachelor anymore. I believe
No.
he's engaged.
To a Whitney, right?
Whitney.
A different Whitney.
And they did the jive last night. And
yeah, I'm not sure what the big hoo-ha is. I know that he's the farmer guy, and I hope Whitney can improve him. I think there was so much focus on just who they are the first week rather than their ability of what they're going to be. So we'll see how he improves.
yeah, I agree.
All right, we'll move on to Michael and Peta. And, of course, they did one of my favorite songs right now, which is Uptown Funk. Who doesn't like to dance to Uptown Funk,
Right.
right?
It makes you want to stand up and dance yourself.
And they did a cha-cha. They did a cha-cha to that.
They did. I thought she captured the song really well. And he can obviously move.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
agile.
Yeah, and I agreed with her with all the football. I appreciated that with all his training, because when I watch football on the weekends, I notice that I know they work really hard, so that's not the problem. What I find is that you have a play and then they have a break. and then they have a play, then they have a break. With dancing, you don't get a break. So I love that he had the appreciation of 4 hours of dance was tough, because it is.
Yes, and all these dancers' endurance is going to grow exponentially as they continue on in the competition.
Yeah, I remember back when I took a class over in Hollywood in the 60s, and a little bit of trivia, in my dance class was all the Rams football players, and they were there to get better and increase their endurance. So I'm glad to see Dancing with the Stars gets the football players.
You know you just aged yourself because the Rams have been gone for quite a while from Southern California.
I don't care. I'm in the youth of my senior years too, so I appreciate that.
So
Okay.
the next performers we had were Derek and Nastia. She, the Olympic athlete, the gymnast, and Derek, apparently a 5-time winner of the mirror ball. And they did a foxtrot. What did you think of the foxtrot?
I thought it was very Fred Astaire-like, which is great. First thing that came to my mind is he's working with the Rockettes. He had a lot of that sort of genre of Broadway and Rockette New York City style to his choreography, which is wonderful because he's just growing as a choreographer. So I'm going to look forward to seeing him do other things too.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a really good score too. Okay, the next people are Emma and Redfu, and they're right over here.
They had a lot of fun out there on the dance floor. They're right there.
Right here, yeah.
I kind of felt like he was performing at a concert. I believe the song that he danced to was his own song.
Yeah, I think Juicy.
Juicy, the wiggle, juicy, juicy wiggle. But I felt like I was at a concert, not necessarily at a dance competition.
And the thing I was distracted with is that they had a whole bunch of dancers around them. I think they need to keep the dancers away from the stage like that so they can look at the dance itself when the judges are watching. And when you put dry ice, I feel like that's hiding a lot of stuff. So since it's a dance competition, and favorite dancer, of course, you don't need all that dry ice because we're looking at how they're improving. So I know for show purposes, I understand that perfectly.
The whole entertainment thing, but sometimes
Yeah.
that overtakes.
Sometimes it does. I agree with you.
Now, the next couple I thought were phenomenal for so many reasons. That would be Noah and Sharna. I can't imagine being Noah and trying to dance, and I thought he was absolutely amazing. So, A, thank you for your service. B, thank you for getting out there and dancing, and I hope you go far in this competition. I'm going to love watching each week.
I love that Sharna took on the challenge of having him lead with the right hand. Men lead with the left hand, and he had to lead with his right. And for her to choreograph backwards in her head is really wonderful. So I'm looking forward to them staying. They did a cha-cha, right? I think you mentioned that.
Yes, cha-cha.
And the thing I really loved, I felt they had a great chemical connection. And I love that, to see when two people can get together, and the song and the way they move together was just beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to her challenge as a choreographer and his challenge as getting through this. And like he said, he doesn't want to be known as the guy with the one arm and the one leg.
I understand.
You know, his emotions about it and his perseverance is just a lesson for all of us, I think.
Absolutely. You know, you make an interesting point, which maybe in the first week of competition isn't as prevalent, is that I'm looking forward to the story. So when they have the chemistry and there's a beginning, middle, and end to a dance, I enjoy that. And I think there were only a few numbers last night that covered that.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have two couples left. One is Suzanne Summers and Tony. Good old Tony, always ready to participate and have a great time and bring out the best in his dancers. What did you think of Tony and Suzanne? They did the cha-cha.
Yeah, you know, I love Suzanne Summers. I mean, who doesn't love Suzanne Summers? She's kind of frozen in time. No pun. And that they did Let's Get Physical. I think that's what
Yes.
Olivia Newton-John song from the 80s, right?
Yes.
And they brought back the leg warmers and the heavy old shoes and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. What I'm hoping is that she loosens up and you know, Tony can do that. He's gentle, he's kind, he's just a wonderful person, dancer, choreographer, and I'm looking forward to him getting her to enjoy herself more, because I think she can.
I agree.
And they did the cha-cha.
They did.
They did the cha-cha.
They did. So the final couple of the night was Rumor and her partner Val, which I thought for a first week was an amazing story in their dance. I just thought that they connected with the audience beautifully. I thought she carried herself. What are your thoughts on Val and Rumor?
Well, I think Val has a good chance of winning this year. I mean, I think Rumor, with her perfectionist personality and how she wants everything to be just right, even though she's really tough on herself, I think that'll help her grow. I hope she sticks around because I think Val's got a great partner there. And quite frankly, I hope they all grow. So let's put an end to this.
Okay.
Why don't you see who comes in first? We'll read the leaderboard for you.
Okay, so the first couple of the night was Rumor and Val, followed by Riker and Allison. And then came Nastia and Derek, along with Robert and Kim Johnson. And then who followed after them?
Noah and Emma, and we had Michael and Peta, and Chris and Willow. Whitney. You take the rest.
Oh, sorry. Willow and Mark, Patty and Artem, Suzanne and Tony, and then we have Charlotte and Keon, and Red Foo and Emma. So it'll be interesting to see if the people on the lower part of the ladder, watching them grow and climb up.
So that'll be great. Well, there's our bell to go.
We need to go. Thank you.
Okay, hope you comment.